Hello, hi guys. I'm Krishna. I'm going to say the seminar on .NET and Unit 3 on exception handlings. Exception handling. In exception handling, when we write an execution code in the .NET framework, then there is a possible type of error occurrence. There are complication errors, runtime errors. These are the two types of errors we'll get. An error that occurs in a program at the time of complication is known as a complication error. These errors occurred with a syntax mistake under the program. These errors occur by typing the wrong syntax like missing double quotes and tremulously typing wrong spellings for keyword, assigning wrong data to a variable, typing create an object for an abstract class interface, etc. Meaning of this error occurred due to the poor understanding of the programming language. These errors can be identified by the program, can be rectified before the execution of the program only. So these errors do not casually cause any harm to the program execution. Runtime error. These errors, which are occurred at the time of the program executes, are called as runtime errors. The errors are like entering the wrong data into a variable, typing to open a file for which there is no permission, trying to connect to the database with a wrong user ID or a password. The wrong implementation of logic is missing of the reduces the resources, etc. Runtime errors are dangerous because whenever they occur in the program terminates abnormally in the same line where the error gets occurred without the exception executing the next line of the code. What is an exception? Exception is a runtime error is known as an exception. Exception cannot be identified and rectified by the programmer. The exception will cause abnormal termination of the program execution. So these errors they are very dangerous because whenever the exceptions occurs in the program gets terminated abnormally only on the same line. When the error gets occurred without the executing the next line of code, C has exception for the representation by the class. Exception class in CH are mainly directed to the indirect delivery from the system.exception class. Some of the exception class derived from the system exception classes are system application exceptions and system.system exception classes. The the application exception class suppose the exception generated by the application programs. Hence, as an exception is identified, all defined by the programmer should derive from this class. System exception class is based for all predefined systems exception. The following table provides some of the predefined exception classes derived the following system exception classes. We take in this table exception class and description. As first seen system.io.io exception handlers IO errors. System.index out of range exception handles error gathered when the method refers to an array index out of range. third one is system.array.type.mismatch exception and handles an error generated when the type of mismatched with the array type. Fourth one is system.nullReference exception handles the error generated from the reference of null object. System.divide by zero exception handler error generated from dividing with zero. System.invalid cached exception handles error generated during typecasting. System.out of memory exception handles errors generated from insufficient free memory. System.stack overflow exception handle error generated from the stack overflow. These are the 8 types of system exception class and descriptions. Each exception class provides the specific error message. All exception classes responsible for abnormal termination of the program as well after the abnormal termination of the program, they will be displaying an error message which specifies the reason for abnormal termination. For an example, they provide an error message specific to that error. Whenever a runtime error occurs in a program, exception managed under CLR identifies the type of error that occurred in the program, creates an object for an exception class related with that error, throws the object in the immediate termination of program abnormally on the line where the error got occurred, the display error message related with the class. Program execution is a termination abnormally. It means the statement placed after the exception causing the statement non-executed by the statement placed before the exception causing the statements are executed by CLR.